Hello, my dear children. Children, in the last class, we have studied Young's double slit experiment. And in that experiment, we found out fringe width, linear fringe width. And in the class today, we'll continue beyond that. And the very first topic which we are going to study is angular fringe width. So, what is this angular fringe width? Angular fringe width is defined as the angular separation between two consecutive maximas or two consecutive minimas. What is linear fringe width? Linear fringe width we have already studied. This is a fringe pattern found over the screen. The shaded one is what? The minima, and these are what? Maximas. The distance between two consecutive minimas is linear fringe width, which we have already studied. Distance between two consecutive maximas, that is also called as linear fringe width. The linear fringe width is defined as distance between two consecutive minimas or distance between two consecutive maximas. This is what is linear fringe width. And this linear fringe width we have already studied is nothing but lambda capital D upon small d. Lambda is the wavelength of light, d is the separation between the plane of slit and the screen, and small d is the separation between the coherent sources. This is linear fringe width. Angular fringe width is angular separation between two consecutive bright bands or two consecutive dark bands, where over the screen, over screens at any point over a screen. So this is the center of the line joining the two slits. This is the plane of the slit, and the distance of the plane of slit is what? From the screen is capital D. These are two consecutive maximas, and angular separation, the angle between these two points right here, angular separation between two consecutive maximas is this angle. This is the angle over which one band is formed, one fringe is formed, which is angular fringe width. So what is this angular fringe width? This angular fringe width theta, which is angular separation between two consecutive maximas or two consecutive minimas, is going to be what? This theta is going to be arc upon radius. What is arc? Beta. And what is radius? Radius is d. If we substitute the value of this beta here, what do we get theta as? We get theta as lambda capital D upon small d into capital D, and we can see that d cancels out. What is this theta? Theta is lambda upon d. This simply means angular fringe width is independent of the distance of the screen from the plane of slit. Children, let us see the intensity distribution in an interference pattern. Well, this is intensity axis. This is center of the screen. This is distance on one side of the center of the screen. This is distance over the other side of the center of the screen. This is level of intensity. This is 0, 0. This is level of intensity, that is minimum intensity level. And this is maximum intensity level. And we already know what is I minimum. I maximum is equal to root I1 plus root I2 whole square, and I minimum value of intensity in an interference pattern is root I1 minus root I2 whole square. Well, how is the intensity distribution throughout the interference pattern I am going to make? See, the intensity in an interference pattern is like this. This is central maxima. The intensity on both sides of the central maximum decreases, and then again it rises and becomes maximum for what? This is second maxima, and then it decreases and becomes 0, minimum, and then again it rises and becomes maximum and decreases, and the process continue. That's how the intensity increases as well as decreases. Same is the pattern on the other side. So what is special about this distribution is the fact that all maximas are equally bright and all minimas are what? Equally dark. So all maximas, yeah, let me tell you, all maximas are equally bright if it is the interference pattern of light, and all minimas are equally dark. All maximas have maximum intensity as what? Root I1 plus root I2 whole square, and all minimas have this intensity root I1 minus root I2 whole square. Well, this maximum intensity is going to be 4I0. Let us say I1 is equal to I2. I1 is equal to I2 is equal to I0. In that case, I max is going to be what? I max is going to be 4I0, whereas I minimum is going to be 0. If that be the case, this dotted line will coincide with this line, that is x-axis, and this I max will be what? 4I0. So in an interference pattern, all maximas are equally bright and all minimas are equally dark. This is central maxima B0, this is B1, this is B2, this is B3, this is bright band number 1, bright number 2, bright band number 3. Likewise, here also we have bright band number 1, this is bright band number 2, this is bright band number 3, and then we have bright band number 4. And in between these bright bands, what do we have? This is dark band number 1. See, after central maximum, we have first dark band, first minima, then we have second minima, then we have what? Third minima, and so on. Likewise, here also this is what? D1, this is D2, this is D3, this is D4. And remember children, you know it already, all maximas are equal to each other. All consecutive maximas are equidistant. So these distances are what? All equal to each other, and the distances are fringe width. Similarly, the distance between two consecutive minima is also fringe width. So all these distances are equal to each other, and that is also linear fringe width. But what we are telling you right now is all maximas are equally bright and all minimas are equally dark. Let us see intensity distribution in a band, in a fringe. Well, in a fringe, intensity distribution is like this. This is intensity axis, this is your distance axis, or say phase axis. Distance can also be replaced by phase. And here we have taken for granted that the two waves which are superposing over each other to produce interference pattern have equal intensity. If the intensity of wave is same, I1 is equal to I2 is equal to I0, then what is intensity? General expression of intensity is what? In an interference pattern, I1 plus I2 plus 2 root I1 root I2 cos delta theta. If we write I0 for I1 I2, then what do we get? We get 2 I0 cos delta theta. That is, I is equal to 2 I0 1 plus cos delta theta. This is the expression of intensity with theta, and that is what is plotted here. When theta is equal to 0, the intensity is what? 4 I0. Yeah, when theta is equal to 0, if you put delta theta 0, yeah, if you put delta theta 0, what do we get I as? We get I as 4 I0. Just substitute here and see. And if the delta theta increases and becomes say pi by 2 would be somewhere here. Yeah, when delta theta is pi by 2, what happens? Cos pi by 2 is 0. Intensity is what? I is going to be what? 2 I0, and so on. If value of theta increases and it increases and becomes pi, then this I is going to be what? 0. So intensity varies from 4 I0 to 0 as the phase changes from 0 to pi, or as the path changes from 0 to lambda by 2. This is pi phase difference, and that is also path difference lambda by 2 plus lambda by 2, and this is minus lambda by 2. So intensity in a band right at the center is maximum, and from center to the adjacent minima it decreases continuously. all maximas are equally bright and all minimas are equally dark. When we say so, that simply means intensity at the center of the maximas is same. But in a maxima, intensity is not uniform. Right at the center, intensity is maximum and then it decreases continuously and it becomes zero at the minima, or it becomes minimum at the adjacent minimas. We know that maxima is flanked by minimas and minimas are flanked by maximas. So this was intensity distribution in a single band. Children, let us know the effect of medium over interference pattern. So why is interference pattern affected by medium? It is simply because fringe width or bandwidth is dependent upon lambda. We already know that fringe width is what? Lambda capital D upon small d. This is linear fringe width. Since fringe width depends upon lambda, that is why the fringe pattern also depends upon medium. Wavelength varies from one medium to another. That is why the fringe pattern is affected by medium. So if fringe width in air, if it is what? Beta naught, then it is going to be lambda naught capital D upon D. This is fringe width in air or in free space. This is fringe width in air or free space. In medium, the fringe width is going to be what? In medium, fringe width is going to be what? Wavelength in medium capital D upon a small d. And if we divide the two, beta naught upon beta m, what do we get? Yeah, this d by small d cancels out. What do we get? Lambda upon lambda m. If we multiply and divide by frequency, yeah, what do we get numerator as? We get numerator as speed in air, or this is speed in medium. Speed in air upon speed in medium. We all know, yeah, speed in medium, air upon speed in medium is absolute refractive index of the medium. You can write it as mu, or you can write it as what? N. Whichever notation you can use. Anyway, so what is this fringe width in air upon fringe width in medium? It is nothing but refractive index of the medium. Well, this simply means refractive index in the medium is fringe width in air upon refractive index of the medium. So what happens when YDSC setup is taken into denser medium? The fringes come closer, and if the YDSC setup is taken into rarer medium, fringes becomes wider. What is fringe width in water? Well, we know refractive index of water is what? Refractive index of the water is 4 by 3. That means fringe width in water is going to be, fringe width is air upon 4 by 3. 4 by 3 means this is 4 and 3 moves up. That means fringes in water are of 3/4 fringe width, 3/4 times the fringe width in air. This simply means if YDSC setup, very important question, if YDSC setup is immersed in water, what is the effect over fringe pattern? Your answer is going to be, when YDSC setup is immersed in water, the fringe width decreases, fringes come closer. Fringe width becomes what? 3/4 of what is the fringe width in air. So this is the effect of medium. And children, finally let us see what are non-essential conditions. Right in the beginning of interference, we studied essential conditions. And in essential conditions, we have studied the two coherent sources should give out the wave of constant phase difference and of course same frequency. So same frequency and constant phase difference between the two waves are essential conditions for interference. And when these conditions are not satisfied, interference pattern is not formed or interference of waves does not take place. Right now we are going to study non-essential condition, and these non-essential conditions are not related with interference pattern, whether the interference pattern is going to be formed or not. They are not associated with this, say, the formation or non-formation of interference pattern. These are associated with visibility of the interference pattern. So when interference pattern is going to be very clearly visible or very clearly audible if it is that of sound waves, these four conditions should also be satisfied. So they are non-essential because they are not related with the, say, creation of interference pattern. or formation of interference pattern. They are simply associated with the visibility of the pattern. So these four conditions are what? See, we know fringe width. Fringe width is what? Lambda capital D by D. See, any band pattern, any fringe width, any band pattern or fringe pattern is going to be clearly visible if bands are wider. If the width of the band is large enough to be seen by human eyes. When for that, see, beta is going to be greater only when capital D is more. When capital D is more, beta is going to be more. Beta is directly proportional to capital D. Therefore, fringes are going to be wider and more clearly visible when capital D is more. That is, the distance between source and the screen should be large for wider fringes so that the visibility is more. Well, if small d, beta is inversely proportional to small d. That means when the distance between the coherent sources is small, the fringes are again going to be wider and would be more clearly visible. So, second condition. Third condition, equal amplitude or equal intensities. If the two coherent sources produce the wave of same amplitude or same intensity, then what will happen? Maximum amplitude of course would be 2A0. If A1 is equal to A2 is equal to A0, then maximum amplitude would be 2A0 and minimum amplitude in the interference pattern would be 0. Likewise here, if I1 is equal to I2 is equal to I0, maximum intensity would be 4I0 and minimum intensity would be 0. Minimum intensity would be 0, minimum amplitude would be 0, and that is what makes the visibility the best. There is best contrast in the interference pattern. When white bands are separated by perfect dark bands, in that case the visibility is the best. And finally, the sources should not be polychromatic, otherwise confused interference pattern would be formed and we would not be able to see any band distinctly, like is the interference pattern of white light. When the light falls over soap bubble, we see the billion colored formations, but these billion colored formations are confused color patterns. We do not see any band of red color or blue color or indigo. So the light, the coherent sources should not be polychromatic, they should be monochromatic. So these are four non-essential conditions. And children, we come to the end of the today's class. We'll meet again very shortly. Thank you very much and God bless you all.